Hello fellow internet dweller, Brickineer here, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at set number 5980, the Space Police 3 Squidman's Pit Stop set. This set was available in 2009, and it was advertised as a limited edition set, being sold on Lego.com for only 5 months. It wasn't exclusive to Lego.com, however, because I remember getting this set at a retail store in Norway on a trip to Norway. That was pretty cool. This set has 4 minifigures, 389 pieces, and originally retailed for $50 in 2009, which is about $61 in today's money. And now, if you're trying to get this set, it's going to be around $50 used and around $72 sealed. It's pretty big. There's a lot of different components. As you can see, there's a lot of different ships and then just lots of different side builds. So let's take a look at those builds. The first build I want to take a look at is the Space Police ship that is included in the set. It's got a very large windshield piece here in translucent blue with a sticker that says police on there. And that's pretty cool. You gotta, to open it, there is a little spot here at the bottom that you're able to put your finger into and then just kind of pop it up like so. And you're able to fit one Space Police minifigure in there. Kind of just sits in there. There's not really any control panel or stick or steering wheel or anything like that. It's just, he just sits in there in a nice little seat. And then to put this back on, you just plop it in place like that. There's some police stickers on the side there. And then you got the two red and blue lights. There's also 2 clips that can hold different tools, such as some handcuffs and a little missile launcher, which is a flick fire missile. If you don't know what a flick fire missile is, it's a type of missile that Lego used around this time. Basically, you would just flick it like that. It's not as good as like stud shooters or spring-loaded shooters, those things that are around today, but it's pretty iconic or nostalgic to me, at least. Got these pretty big engines in the back there and a little fin with the Space Police logo again. Nice little ship and very small, but I think this is a decent build. Then we have all of the villain side builds, starting off with this Skull Twin car. I don't think any of these have specific names, so I'm just going off what it looks like. Very interesting design here with a massive spiky thing here. This is not like a solid plastic. It's very bendy, which is cool. Very interesting design for a car, especially since it is kind of at an angle. You can see there, very weird angle that it's at. It's not like up like that. So you have to put the figure in there kind of sideways. Got an engine in the back. And there's a little clip there. It's kind of, I don't know if this would be a good vehicle in real life, because that would just cover up what you're able to see. But yeah, just a neat little car. Not really my favorite build in the set, but like, whatever, just a little thing. Then we have this little bike speeder thing, and this one is way better. In my opinion, this is probably the best side build. It's got 2 giant engines in the front there. One of them is supposed to have a sticker like this on there. I just couldn't find the piece with the sticker, so I just had to go with this one. Got a big gun in the front there. It could be a laser gun, it could be a Gatling gun, whatever you want it to be. And there is Snake piloting it. It does have the whoops, the more annoying control thing there. I honestly really do not like that piece because it makes trying to take minifigs in and out way harder, but it is there. Very lacking seat design. I mean, it could have had something similar to what was in here with the this piece there, but they decided not to. Maybe that was so that the engine in the back here was not covered up. There's also these two big exhaust tubes and a little bit of detail in the back there. Also some fins for aerodynamics or whatever. So yeah, I think this is definitely the coolest looking vehicle. I really like the design of this. You could move the engines up if you want or down. I think it looks the most menacing when it's kind of on the side like that. I think that looks definitely the best. And yeah, so that is the, I'm going to call it the snake scooter. And then finally there is the Squidman blaster bike or something. I don't know. That's not the official name, of course. I'm just making up weird names. We get some guns in the front there with the original blaster design, which I think is pretty cool. Got some translucent yellowish green laser cones at the front there. Got a little engine. I believe this piece is supposed to have the sticker of the Black Hole Gang right there. Well, that design on here. Just couldn't find the piece. Again, this annoying little control stick thing. And some fins on the back that do have this really cool fire design. And then we have the fin with the Black Hole Gang logo on either side. And then these, I guess, would be the engines. These little cones. So this is definitely another weak little side build. But this one is not really supposed to, or I guess it could be played with, but this is kind of really to be sat on the a different part of the build that I'll show you in just a second. And here is the pit stop itself. Now, before we take a look at this, I wanted to point out this other side build here. And actually, this is missing a pretty large piece, which is this hose piece is supposed to be in just plain red. So sorry about that. I do not have that piece with me. I could not find it. So I had to replace it with this piece, which I honestly think looks better. But I'll put a picture of what it looks like in reality on the screen there with the red hose piece. In addition to that, I believe this cylinder down here also is supposed to have a sticker, which I do not have. But this is just a little side gas build, I guess. Unfortunately, none of the vehicles in this set actually has a little spot to put gas into, so this is kind of useless. It's just a little side build that goes on the side, which honestly I do not really like. So just like hide it if you don't want it or something. I don't know. But now let's take a look at the actual pit stop itself. So I really like the idea of this pit stop because it is supposed to be a normal pit stop that is able to be turned into like a gang base, like the Black Hole Gang base. I think that is a really cool concept. And in order to do that, there's three different things that can transform the base. Well, really two, and then there's a third hidden thing there. So first off is this sign. The Squidman's pit stop sign here is actually a missile launcher. Before I show you that though, nice little design with a sticker there. I know it's pretty poorly placed. That's because I placed it when I was like 5 years old or 6 years old, something like that. We have these little triangles here that look pretty neat. But basically what the sign is supposed to do is you're supposed to flip it over like that, turn it around, and then you're able to adjust it because of these types of joints. I don't really know what they're called, but yeah, basically the sign is able to be pointed, and there's some missiles, the flick fire missiles on back. Now these are much harder to actually push, so maybe you want to do like this, like so, and then everything kind of just gets in the way. So there you go. That is the flick fire missiles and how they work on this big sign. And the second way to transform this is with this piece here, and you have a tool rack, and that is able to be flipped over, and there are a bunch of weapons on the other side. We'll take a closer look at that in a little bit. And I guess the third thing, if you want to count this, is behind this sign here. You're supposed to remove this, and then open this up, and then there's some gold bars in there. But let's take a look at the rest of the pit stop. So we have this little work elevator here, and what you're supposed to do is land one of the ships on top like so. I would not suggest really placing it down. It's really hard to actually connect it on here, because I think that the studs here are just slightly below these well, the outside of this piece, so you're not really able to stick this build onto this platform, which is a bit unfortunate. And also it's not able to rotate freely, so I would just suggest you just put it like that. And this elevator is able to be moved up and down with this little lever here. Of course, not really, but like that's what it's supposed to do. And you're able to move it all the way up, or whatever angle you want it to be on. I don't really like this lever that much. It's kind of weird. I guess you can have it like that, but then you can't really fix the car. And if the elevator's all the way over here, then it's kind of hard to be like worked on. And also, this is kind of where the gas comes in. You're supposed to be able to like unclip it and plug it in wherever it seems fit. So yeah, this is kind of a not very well thought out feature, but oh well. This inside also has 3, whatever you want to call those. I would call them like graffiti spray paint. That's kind of looks like what it is, but it might be something car related. I'm not 100% sure. There's also that spiky piece again on the side here. Pretty interesting design there. Really makes the build stick out much farther than it needs to. On the inside, we have a bunch of just random things thrown about. I'm not a huge fan of that. One of this is detachable really easily, and that is a little cart with a mug on it. But what you're supposed to do is open it, and it's not supposed to do that, but there's a stick of dynamite inside, and it uses the little hinge pieces as little wheels, which I think is pretty funny, and a little cute little building technique. You get extra fins just lying on the ground, and these, I'm not 100% sure about this, but you might be able to like swap these ones out and put these ones in. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do, like customize the vehicles or not. I mean, it honestly looks kind of bad when that piece is on there. So I think those are just supposed to decorate the floor, which is not really necessary, but okay. And then you also have a little oil tank thing and then a little rat inside there. This sign is very old, so it's starting to be ruined, but it says Universe L Space Parts, or Spare Parts. And that's the brand, I guess, Universe L. We got spark plug, supercharger, washer, and a roadhog. So yeah, that is the little advertisement there. Moving to the back of the pit stop, you can see these barrels here. And what you're supposed to be able to do is on the back here, there's this little piece, little red piece, and basically you push that and they're supposed to kind of break off. It might be easier to do if you remove this top piece. There we go. So yeah, this just goes up like so. And then you get two barrels. The barrels do have this little radioactive logo on there. These two pieces here do have clips, but there's nothing specific that you want to that is included to put there. I guess you can move some of the tools over there if you wanted to. There's also a saw there in the back. And this ladder piece makes a really cool window looking outside of the pit stop. This back half of the pit stop is covered pretty uniquely. It's got this really big, I would call it like a waterfall piece on its side, like so, and that is pointed downwards, so that makes a really cool translucent roof. And I think that this is a really cool design. I really like it. It's got a really cool sticker on there as well. It's got some broken glass and then some graffiti. I think that was a really cool usage of pieces. On the side here, you get these two barbed wires, one here and one on the other side, a chain, and just a lot of greebling. It's not really greebling, but it's just a lot of different textured pieces to make a very interesting side here. I think this is really cool way that it is built. There's just lots of, instead of it just being flat with like one type of brick, you have these like lined bricks, you have these weird indented ones, you have cones, you have cylinders, you got this thing here, you got one of these pieces that has like the big line in the middle, it's got one of these here, and one of these which is the same as this one, just on the side. So it just adds a lot of different depths and stuff and makes this side of the build really interesting to look at. There's also some flames at the top, because why not? On the back, it's not really much except for the tools, which I can show. You get two of these little space blasters. You get another missile launcher, just it does not come with a missile, so you would have to take a missile from the sign up there. And then there's also this other little blaster here. And then once you flip it, you can see all the tools that are included. It comes with one of those big round tool sets that you're able to put on these little clips. It doesn't work 100% of the time. When you want to flip it over, it might get caught, because it is like just the right size, so you might need to mess with it a couple times before it kind of snugly fits in there. But that is all for this build. I guess one last thing is this little radar here. It doesn't really do anything. It's just a little radar. So yeah, that is the complete set. Now let's take a look at the minifigures. The first minifigure that is included in the set is the Space Police Officer. This is the same Space Police Officer that comes in the Space Truck Getaway set. And since I've already reviewed that set, I'm not going to go too much in depth into him. Also because he has the same helmet, torso, and leg prints as every other Space Police Officer in this first wave of sets. So he's not very unique at all. The only thing that's kind of special about him is that he does not come with the air tank or jetpack piece. And that is because that is so that he can easily fit inside a little spaceship that comes with the set. His torso there has the Space Police logo as well as some pockets. And then his legs have some like knee pads and some more pockets. The helmet visor can go up and down, like so. And then also he does have an alternate face print. You can see there, it is a scared face print. And yeah, so that's the same face print that comes in the Space Truck Getaway set. But that is the Space Police Officer. Then we have Squidman, the guy that runs the pit stop. He is non-exclusive to this set. He is also in the Squidman's Escape set, which is a very small $6 set. I have reviewed that set before, so if you want to watch that review, it will be linked in the description. A very awesome minifigure. He's got this really awesome head mold there. It is not unique to him because it was used again in the second wave of Space Police 2, which I'll make a video about that minifigure when I get to that set, the smash and grab. Very large, scary mouth there with a big tongue sticking out of it. His torso kind of reminds me of like a swamp creature or something like that. It's got like a gap in the middle and some weird details there. It's got a big red cape that I believe is covering a little bit of printing. As you can see there, just a little bit of back printing. And then the top of the head also has printing, as you can see there, as well as his eyes, which are oddly enough facing to his left. So maybe he's looking at something. But yeah, that is Squidman. Then we have Snake, probably my favorite minifigure in all of Space Police 3. He's got a really awesome helmet mold. Again, not exclusive to the set because he was also in the Space Truck Getaway as well as a poly bag. But it's a really awesome helmet mold that could definitely be used as a post-apocalyptic helmet. And it also has the visor that can go up and down. When you remove it, you get his horrifying face print with his 8 eyes. You have 7 eyes on the top there, the 6 small ones, the big one in the middle, and then 1 on his stomach there. That is supposed to be an eye. As I said in the Space Truck Getaway review, I always see this minifigure as having a big nose, that 7th eye in the middle of his face. I always see that as a nose, and the 6 eyes around that is the actual eyes, so it looks like he only has 6 eyes and a big nose. But those are all supposed to be eyes, which make him even creepier. He's got a big mouth with some very sharp teeth, freckles around his eyes. His stomach, he's got kind of a lot of fat on there, a lot of curves. His torso does also have a little bit of back printing there, just like a spine. And then the legs are the same legs with most of the rest of the Black Hole Gang minifigures, with the knee pads, the chain, and the skull. So that is Snake. And the final minifigure I have not looked at before on this channel before. It is the Skull Twin. And this is a really cool minifigure. The legs are the same as Snake and the rest of the Black Hole Gang there. The torso, though, is pretty interesting. It's like a biker suit or something. It's got a lot of interesting details, and it also has the Octan logo there in the corner, a reference to the city line. So again, Space City would be such a cool concept for a theme. Maybe have like an Octan gas station, but in space. And there you can see the Octan logo again, with more of the same patterns from the front of the jacket there. The Skull Twin does have a really cool helmet piece. It is not like the same plastic as most Lego. It is kind of squishy. And this helmet was also used in Space Police 2 Space Police 3 Wave 2 with a different minifigure. I'm not really sure the name of that minifigure. There is the face print of the Skull Twin there. It's kind of creepy, with like red eyes, big bushy eyebrows, and a red mouth. But what's even creepier is if you want to flip the head around, you'll see that this Skull Twin has a third eye in her forehead. So that is pretty creepy. But yeah, that is the Skull Twin. This minifigure also appears in the Skull Twin, I think it's called like the Chase or something like that. I'll show a picture of that up front on screen there. But yeah, that is the final minifigure. None of these minifigures are exclusive. They all appear in different sets. Here is how I display the Squidman's pit stop. It is kind of dark in this shelf. But we have this pit stop kind of in the back there. And then we have the Space Police vehicle next to the rest of the Space Police vehicles that I have. And then we have the Skull Twin car there. The Squidman speeder is on the little work platform there. And then I have the Snake speeder there on a custom built stand, which I can show you in just a second how I have built that. But yeah, that is how I display the set, kind of to the right of all of my villain vehicles. So I kind of have like the villain half this side and then the police half this side. I also have the lunar limo up front here, but that takes up too much space, so I just have these here. And here's that close-up of the little stand. It's a very simple stand, only 3 pieces. This piece here can just be any type of large base plate just to add some stability. We have one of these little tower pieces, and I really love these for building stands for basically anything that flies. It's a very useful piece. And we also have a little one of these, I'm not really sure what these are called, but they're one of the hinges. And basically you can take whatever ship you want and basically just attach it like so, and then it will be at an angle, and you can adjust the angle if you want to. I want to make sure to let everyone know that this is not included in the set. You would have to use this, build this using your own pieces. But you can also try to put some other vehicles on here as well. I've only tried that snake bike, so let me try. Let's see if it works here. Yeah, it works like that. And then I'm sure that it will work on the Squidman bike as well. So yeah, just a cool little stand that you can build using your own pieces to display these ships. Here are the instructions for the Squidman's pit stop. It does have 2 instruction booklets. Now, this might be slightly different than the instructions that you might see in America, because I did get this in Norway, and you'll also see in the box it is the European version, not the American version of the box. But anyway, here's a big, nice view of the instructions. You'll see here, and it's also in the box, that this tube kind of goes, looks like it plugs in somewhere around here, but in reality, it's not able to do that. That's kind of interesting. But you can see it's on an asteroid. You can see the space city in the background. You can see Earth in the background. And 2 instruction booklets. They are the same art on both, and on the box. In the back of the first one, there isn't anything as usual except for this kind of little poster here. We got the Galactic Enforcer, I believe it's called, and then the Skull Twin spaceship up there. And then you also have the whatever this like mugshot thing for all 6 of the different villains from the Space Police 3 Wave 1. So they're not in the order that they come in, you know, like Squidman, it would be Squidman, Cranks, and then Snake should go here, then, or actually no, this guy should go here, then Snake, then the Skull Twin, then Slicer. But that is the instruction booklet number 1, and then number 2 here, again, same artwork at the back of the page. You'll see a little couple images of the functions, including the flick fire missiles, the kind of exploding barrels of whatever you want to call that, maybe it's plutonium or something, the swiveling weapon and tool rack, and then you have an advertisement for the Space Police website, and then that mugshot just blown up to be much larger. This this kind of like poster thing is in pretty much every single instruction booklet, showcasing all of the sets. And then you have the part count, and then the Lego Club and the win stuff. So yeah, that is the instructions. Now let's take a look at the box. Here is the box for the Squidman's Pit Stop. It is the European version, so it does not have the part count or the name or anything like that. I don't know why they do that. I think that's kind of stupid. But anyway, so it's the same artwork as in the instructions, just with a big limited edition slapped on there. That is because the set was only sold for like 4 or 5 months. Includes 4 minifigures, none of which are exclusive, of course, unfortunately. Space Police logo. On the side here, get a cool little advertisement for Lego Battles, which is a game that I used to play a lot on my DS. It was like Age of Empires, but with Lego. So I really hope that they bring that to the computer one day so that I could play it again. We have some like little X and O's. Maybe that's kind of like the equivalent of like the 1s and 0s of coding and stuff like that, of binary coding. Here is the back of the box. Kind of shows the pit stop in its more action attack mode with that sign being flipped around. Get all the vehicles around the side there, all the minifigures, some of the features that are also on the instructions. And that's basically it for the box. I guess here's what is displayed with the minifigures. There's only one handcuff that is included with the set, which is kind of interesting because there's 3 figures. So Snake is there running away, and the Skull Twin doesn't have any cuffs. Pretty interesting. But yeah, that is the box for the set. In my honest opinion, I think that while this set is a great price for like a play set for kids, you know, there's lots of different vehicles, lots of different minifigures. As a like collector display piece, I think it's got too many little parts just all strung about. There's too many little side builds for me, that it's kind of confusing and takes up a lot of space when it is kind of small. I would suggest if you wanted to, you could just part out the pieces for the pit stop by itself, and maybe just like this bike instead of all 4 vehicles, because the vehicles are pretty lackluster. The minifigures, none of them are exclusive, not even the Space Police officer. They just use the same face from the Space Truck Getaway. So there's no need to buy any of the minifigures if you have any other Space Police sets. So I would kind of recommend this set. It's not like a super recommend, but it's not like this set sucks. It just is kind of average. Probably a better play set than a display set. But that was my opinion on this set. If you have anything to say about the set, then you can leave your comments in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this video, maybe consider hitting that like button. And if you've enjoyed some of the rest of my videos, maybe consider subscribing. But other than that, I'll see you in another video. Peace out.